through the American wilderness on horseback. Actress Marie Bäumer and Hawk, the Mountain Man. 8 states, 4,000 miles, from the Mexican border to the Canadian one. Stories about cowboys and Indians, a journey through the wild heart of America. The initial preparations, romantic, historical New Mexico, a ranch with significant traditions, and the simple life in the wilderness. The adventure begins. Today, from Arizona to New Mexico, in the saddle.
Wow.
Hi.
Hi. What are you doing out here?
I was just looking around and waiting for somebody to come.
Who?
For you.
For me? Well, let's go. You ready?
Yes.
A trail ride through the most beautiful parts of the American West, from the border of Mexico all the way up to Canada. Something that needs professional support, and that is Hawk. He doesn't have to make his dreams come true, he just lives them. Since he was a young man, he has been roaming on horseback through the wilderness of North America, like one of the mountain men, the American trappers of the 19th century. Together with his horses, he has completely traversed this huge country. It took him more than a year. Hawk and Marie take just 6 weeks to travel the most beautiful and exciting parts of this trail. The adventure begins at the Miller Ranch in Arizona. There, the riders take enough time to prepare themselves for the trail ride. Hawk has brought a horse for Marie. She is excited to meet her future companions.
Her name is Mesa Loma.
Mesa Loma.
Meet
That's
Marie.
a nice name. Hi. Hey, Mesa Loma.
We got a long way to go. You'll have to mess around with him a little bit. See how you guys mesh together and stuff, but I think it'll work out. We got a long way to go. I think he'll carry you.
My buddy.
He's a good critter.
To traverse the American wilderness, humans and animals should be well attuned to each other. To start a journey like this with a completely unknown horse is risky. The rider has to be able to rely on the horse, just as much as the horse needs to trust the rider. The horse is always a mirror image of the rider. If the person is unsure, so too is the animal. There isn't much time left to befriend Mesa.
Yeah, that's good. Get his attention.
Mesa is still a young, inexperienced horse. Hawk got the gelding from Californian desert Indians. It was important that the horse have stamina and can deal with the temperatures here in the Southwest. Everything else will come with time, if the chemistry is right. And when the chemistry is right,
So, we will have a happy horse and a happy Marie.
That's what we need. He's never been shot. Just trimmed.
No.
Good boy. Oh. Yeah. Oh. You're okay. He's doing good, isn't he?
Yeah.
There isn't much time left for preparation. The riders will only be taking the essentials with them: food, water, and camping equipment. For this, they need an extra horse, and packing all this is really an art.
Yes. The guys I ride with and stuff, we kind of pride ourselves, you know, packing and getting it done correctly to where you don't have to adjust the saddle or lose a complete saddle on the trail and then have to stop and tie the horse. Everybody stops, and for half hour you got to repack and stuff.
Yeah.
So. And just hook over the sawbuck. Yeah,
The whole
just
thing?
like that, just like that. Great.
Oh, that's simple.
Yeah.
I like it when it's simple.
This is a buffalo robe. This is what I'd be sleeping under.
Wow.
So you just put that on top, and it kind of, you know, right in the middle, and everything's balanced. That's the main thing. If one side's heavier than the other side, then that's when you get a pack that starts rolling, and then it can pull the pack the whole pack saddle over onto one side or the other and stuff. But this works good. Now I traded for these at Rendezvous, but I have chased buffalo and shot them and ate them and
We will do that?
tan the hides. We might, but when you're on the trail, if you're not able to fix things, you're not going to
You're
go
lost.
very far. So, and just pull it all the way. Keep pulling until it's completely over there.
When you're in Montana, your day life, you wear clothes like this, or?
No, usually I just wear jeans
Yes.
and t-shirts and stuff and
mhm.
everything. But every chance I get to put these on, I do it because
You feel-
it's in my heart. It's my
Yes,
passion.
it's
It's
the-
what I want to do.
Yeah.
As soon as I put them on, and if I get on my horse, I just
You
turn
feel
into
just
a
this-
different person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this kind of freedom and
I love it. And then I started going. When I was growing up, I thought, I'm an oddball, you know, I'm weird, nobody's like me.
I will check if I find a black bread somewhere here, and then I make your Leberwurstbrot.
Oh yeah, I'd go
Horse-
for that. You think you remember how?
Yes?
Yeah?
Yeah.
But your mother made it, right?
Yes, of course.
Did
And
she
it's
teach
always,
you?
Yes, but it's always different when she did it. Of course.
Of course.
More butter.
Because Mom made it. Exactly.
What did you like to eat when you were a child?
Candy.
Salute.
Salute. And there's even a smaller one there, so it goes boom, boom, boom. They get
Yes.
littler.
And then it's like a golden bowl.
I love that star. Look how bright it is.
The next morning they start off into the Gila wilderness, way south on the border with Mexico.
cactus. Yeah.
I know. I like how on top they have the little,
Yeah.
see the little
Yes.
yellow flower? It's a yellow rose of Texas.
It's called like that?
Yeah?
Yellow Rose of Texas.
And there's a song, the yellow rose of Texas. Na, 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 na.
There's a yellow rose in Texas I'm going there to see. No other fella knows her, nobody, only me. She cried so when I left her, it like to broke my heart. And if we ever meet again, we'll
You know, I'm in the mood to put off my clothes completely when I see this here.
Can you start getting the horses out? My clothes that I wear that are real. The other clothes are definitely not real. But these are what you live in when you're in nature and in the mountains, and especially on horseback. This brings me to life. I love being alive.
Just needs a little time.
Yeah, I know. I don't like being left alone.
Yes, yes.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Un, deux, trois. Oh. This is not made for girls.
It's good.
The Gila Wilderness was the first official nature reserve in America. Hundreds of thousands of hectares of nothing but wilderness. No roads, no buildings, nothing. Cars and even mountain bikes are not allowed here. This wild beauty may only be seen on foot or on horseback. Even so, the authorities warn hikers not to go on the trails alone, with temperatures reaching over 40 degrees Celsius. Water is extremely important for our two riders as well, and not only for the people, for the horses in particular too. You should find a source of water for them in a maximum of 3 hours.
Well, we could dig right here maybe and find water.
Here.
Yeah, in the sand, if you dig deep enough, you can sometimes get water to come up because it's buried underneath.
I would never ever have imagined that you could find some water here.
Well, if we don't find water up here somewhere, then we'll come back here and dig and see what we can find.
Okay.
Okay.
While you're...
To cross this wilderness alone can be life-threatening, a risk that many Mexican migrants have to take into account. Maria Ochoa is a volunteer for the Samaritanos. She helps migrants to survive this dangerous flight to the land of opportunity, America.
I am getting ready to go out on a desert trip, on a patrol trip, and I just loaded up the car to drop water in an area where migrants go through.
Every day, Maria Ochoa drives the strip of desert along the border. The migrants have to carry all their supplies with them when they cross the desert. Water for 3 or 4 days, impossible for most people.
If they get sick or hurt, the group keeps going and that person stays behind. So now you're not only ill or hurt, but you're also by yourself with no idea of where you're at. You don't know where you're at. You don't know how to get to a safe place or how to find help. And that's where a lot of deaths occur, because people getting hurt and lost in the desert without food or water. They use helicopters, they use horses, they use all-terrain vehicles out here, and they also use drones.
Protecting the border costs Homeland Security a lot. The state alone has invested some 208 billion euros since 2001. The Border Patrol still enforces the immigration laws up to 160 kilometers from the border itself.
You're looking at a collection of black water jugs that are carried by migrants so that they don't reflect the light when they're walking through the night. Sometimes we have found documents in bottles also, but I smelled it because sometimes when I felt the weight, I thought it might have liquid in it, and sometimes people urinate in them so they can drink from when they run out of water. The desert is very deadly because of the dangers that are like rattlesnakes or heat exhaustion in the summer and the cold in the winter. So either time of the year that you come, you're in danger.
A border fence separates Mexico from the USA, over 1,000 kilometers long and up to 5 meters high.
There was a young girl that had been picked up out here on the reservation, and had been brought into the hospital, and we were visiting another patient there that day, and one of the nurses asked, could we talk to her? And her core temperature was 107. And they were trying to stabilize her and to lower her body temperature. And I visited her 2 nights in a row, and the 3rd day that I went back to see her, she had passed away. She hadn't made it.
Dream destination USA. Many Mexicans have the same dream today that millions of Europeans did before. It's not difficult to understand. More than 1 million of them leave their homes every year to try and make it in the Promised Land. And more than 400 of them die of thirst in the American border region. They dream of a new beginning. They dream of a new home for themselves and their families, of a secure future, without poverty, without violence.
They don't come looking for riches. They don't come looking for expensive things. They're mostly driven by desperation. Fear and desperation.
Saloma.
Now we have the drunken horses. Up.
Mesa.
Mesa Loma. Hello there.
Am I gonna have to dive in and save you?
I mean, it's not that deep.
Yeah,
come
but
on.
I like saving pretty women.
There is enough water for both horses and riders, since Hawk knows his way around the Gila. That is the foundation of trail riding in the wilderness.
Trappers lived and trappers died. Mothers wept and widows cried. Trapper's life was a lonely thing. Served no man and he had no king. Searched the streams and the rivers wide. Trapping beaver for their golden hide. Their life was free, they roamed the wind. Through all of us are gonna live once again. Whoa, I wanna go back to another time. Oh, I wanna go back.
The Gila wilderness is exhausting for trail riders. Boulders and steep inclines force them to continually dismount and lead their horses. Hawk knows intuitively what you can expect from the animals. A good campsite must be found before dusk. Hawk has decided on a sheltered spot high in the mountains. Up there, it's slightly cooler at night.
They burrow underneath the bark of the wood. They make little trails.
It looks like Indian
Designs and
designs.
stuff. I know, I've always thought it was cool looking.
It's so
You peel off this bark, it's all underneath.
Wow.
Yeah, it's little worms. Some worms are good.
Creative.
Yeah. I'm gonna get more firewood over here. He's got a rope around his front foot there. Marie.
Yeah.
A campsite isn't complete without a fire. Hawk insists on lighting it the way mountain men do. What you need? Grass, as dry as you can get it. A flintstone and graphite powder. And lots of blowing.
I'm gonna have to get the other stuff out of the panniers. hard. Just keep blowing. Here, I'll help you.
Hawke's yearning for a 19th century lifestyle has very little to do with the modern world. This man's defiance touched me, his will to live this intense life.
So, we have fire. Kind of wrap it round several times.
When riding a trail, you can only take the most essential foodstuffs. Soup made of stock cubes and some dried meat called jerky.
Ooh, it gets hot.
Traveling on horseback through the American wilderness. It's unbelievable. It's my childhood dream come true.
Cowboys and Indians. Serious history transformed into a Karl May romance. The New Mexico of today was the land of the Pueblos and the Apaches, a warlike nation that would not easily let their homes be taken from them by the white settlers. There were wars, much suffering on both sides. The Indians' relationship with the white man was, and still is, difficult. Most of their lands have been lost, but so far, not their identity. In the mountains around Santa Fe, the Indian artist Canupa Hanska Luga deals with the consequences of colonization. Life-size figures are created in his studio, inspired by the children's book Peter Pan. It tells the story of a young boy who doesn't want to grow up and lives on the imaginary island of Never Never Land.
Never Never Land and the story of Peter Pan I see as a European viewpoint of America. The characters that exist there are the pirates, who I believe are a symbol of colonialism. There's the native population that exists there. I like this idea of the pirate in the Never Never Land story, particularly the Captain Hook character. And the only thing that Captain Hook was afraid of was an alligator that had a clock inside of him, and it ticked, so he could hear it ticking. And I like this idea of these pirates as a symbol of colonialism and the ticking of time as a sequential part of how it's breaking down, how their system is falling apart.
Canupa Hanska grew up on the Lakota Indian reservation, even though he also has Austrian and Norwegian roots. The meeting of these cultures has defined his work. He tackles subjects such as the real value of things, disposability, consumption and trivial overstimulation in the media age.
This piece is based on the nostalgia of, I guess, kind of our instant society that we live in, where we post everything on social media and put a 70s filter over the photograph and never really participate in the moment because we're too busy capturing it. The idea here is that this is a deer that has been killed and wasn't harvested. It's going to rot, it's going to waste.
It is difficult for the indigenous culture to assert itself within the American way of life. How the world sees Indians is hampered today by so many cliches.
Wow, you always amaze me with your new pieces you bring into the gallery. There's something going on with this woman over here, this female.
I would say the most disturbing stereotype that Native peoples in the Americas have to deal with is this idea of us being gone, honestly. That we're dead, that there aren't any Indians left. Because of the stereotypes, the expectation is that we are, got our hair down and blowing, wearing buckskins, riding horseback with feathers in our hair. They don't recognize the fact that we live in the 21st century and we shop where you shop and we eat what you eat. And we still exist. We still thrive, really, even in this modern world.
At any rate, we'll figure out the idea when it gets here.
I don't want to be preachy, you know. I don't want to have a seminar on the issue. I just want to exist, but I would love to be able to exist without a preconceived notion of who I am and what I'm supposed to be.
New Mexico, Indians, European settlers, and today Mexican migrants. The constantly changing ethnic makeup of the region gives some perspective, despite all the difficulties. Some city populations have doubled in the last few years. In contrast to other prairie states, rural depopulation and aging are not problematic here. People here have to coexist.
Hi.
Howdy.
How are you?
I'm Hawk.
I'm Amanda.
Glad to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you, Marie.
Hi. Can I help you with something?
Thirsty?
Yeah, we could handle something to drink if you have
Water?
something.
Okay. You guys look like you've been a long way.
Yeah, you mind if we get down for a minute?
Go ahead.
Thanks. Got a nice place here.
Oh, thank you.
How long you had it?
Well, it's been on our family I'm the 4th generation and my sons are the 5th. So,
Wow, that's neat.
yeah. My great-grandfather, Hugh McKean, came out here from Texas in 1888. He was trying to get his daughter away from a cowboy there.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Really?
And he actually ended up following them and marrying his sister anyway.
Wow.
Didn't do a lot of good.
So did they fight a lot of Indians when
They
he
did.
first got here?
Yeah, his brother actually got killed by Apaches.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Alma was first settled in 1879 was the first. And then that following year they had quite a few Indian raids. And yeah. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid actually worked here.
They were here too?
Really?
Yeah, they did.
I love that history. Yeah.
We have a lot of people show up that kind of know that.
That's the kind of stuff she's really,
really?
looking for and wanting to see.
Well, that's great. This wall is actually one of the original walls that's left.
Really?
Yeah, it's one of the original structures from when Wilson and Stevenson first started this ranch. It's made out of adobe. the truth might be more boring than what we can come up with.
Yeah, that's true.
The Wild Bunch, then as now, were the stuff of legends. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid robbed banks, ambushed mail trains, were surrounded by beautiful women, and were always one step ahead of the detectives. Here on the WS Ranch, they tried to go back to the righteous life, to no avail.
So he didn't do any robbing or anything around here, did he?
Oh no, this is where he took care of his livelihood, and where he almost wanted to fit back into society and have friends and have a family, you know, and he kept that life separate from this, and tried to make this his sanctuary, the place where he...
Business is business.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hawke reckons that if you concentrate and are open to it, you can empathize with what happened in the past.
It speaks to you.
Yes, somehow there was.
Still have this wound
In this country, 127 years of history turns a family into one of the founding fathers. Everyone is from somewhere else. Nobody has always been here. Most people realize this.
How many days did it
Despite
take?
all the problems that the migration from Mexico brings with it, there is a lot of understanding for the Mexican refugees here today.
Probably 5, maybe 6.
I think my grandmother was 6 or 7 when they came up from Mexico. Still, people come up from Mexico, and the migrant workers, and they knew certain places they could stop.
Right.
There were safe places. It was almost like a road north.
Yeah.
And the word traveled between them, and they knew you could stop at these certain families and ask for help, and they would give you water, they'd give you food.
Right.
Those people loved the land, and they loved to take care of their families, and they were sending money home, and we all understood that, you know. We live outside of Fairbanks on a hillside, and up out of, actually when you get up out of the valley, that's where it's warmer. It's the wild and free, it's the wide open spaces.
It's very wild and free there too.
We all desire, you know.
But this still has a aura or a feeling about it, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's carried on. It hasn't stopped. I mean, from the way it was back then to the way it is now, it's still that way. I mean, we still have our technology and stuff that creeps in. But I mean, the way everything looks here, it's very similar to what your grandfather would have seen, I'm sure.
Yeah, the trees, the orchards, and it's a very calm way of life. They say New Mexico is the land of mañana.
Right.
And it drives my husband nuts because nobody's in a hurry. I mean, you always got tomorrow. That's what it's about.
Yes, I know that from the south of France.
You guys have a safe trip. We'll come back.
Thanks.
Thank you
Bye.
very much.
Thank you.
God bless.
Don't you have a pillow or something?
I have nothing.
For ladies in the nature. Oh. Look at this.
Lift your head.
Look at Cass from this perspective. So, we should give him a voice. Funny.
Lift up.
looks like a camel.
If I had known that, I wouldn't have come here.
Want to smoke your pipe? Don't bite it.
Oh, he's so cute. Don't mess up with
No,
your horse.
he doesn't want to do it.
The Gila wilderness. For Marie and Hawk, it is like a gift to be able to travel through this huge, untouched nature reserve. Not following the beaten track, but riding freely cross-country on a whim. It is a unique experience.
It's very spiritual.
Yeah.
It's a spirit rock. Take that and chunk it out there when you have a special moment such as this sunset we're having. You know that you'll be the last person to ever touch that rock. Nobody else will ever find it or pick it up. Ever.
It's still magic, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.